Hello, it's Janessa. Once again, this is not a reaction video. This is a little bit more of a check-in video I wanted to do to connect with you. I know there's some new subscribers here. Some of you may have found your way to this channel, Health Sense with Janessa, because you follow my other YouTube channel, Astrology with Janessa. And in this video, I wanted to give a bit more of an update on how I'm doing, because I realized that as I've gone through what I've been through recently, with the Google subpoena for my information related to the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni lawsuit on my Astrology with Janessa channel. I've been getting a lot of questions around how am I doing, what it's been like for me to navigate that process. And I thought on my Health Sense channel, I'd like to share a bit more about that, because it just seems like this content is more relevant to who I am as an individual, but also my work as a health and life coach. So we're going to dive into that. And specifically, I'm going to share what are some of my tips around getting back on track after a major experience. So welcome. And maybe for those who aren't familiar, let me just share a little bit about what's happened with my other YouTube channel, Astrology with Janessa, and why I'm talking about this, because maybe you have no idea what I'm talking about. Maybe you don't follow that other channel, which I'll link below. Maybe you found this video through other means. So, as is obvious, I have multiple channels on YouTube because I have different passions, different interests. And for my astrology channel, I have been creating content related to the Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni lawsuit this year. I think I started covering it in January of 2025. I was recently one of the content creators included in the subpoena that Blake Lively's lawyers sent to Google asking for information about me and my account. The reason why I want to talk about it on this channel is because this experience, the last month or so, has really it has created a lot of stress in my life. I do want to speak to just the physical stress, the emotional stress, the mental stress, the financial stress of all of this. And I think I've navigated it pretty well. But I'll be honest, when it comes to content on this channel, Health Sense with Janessa, which I started more recently, I haven't been able to keep up with creating content because I feel like I got sucked into a bit of a portal, like an energy portal, and had to deal really just one day at a time, one task at a time. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you can think about a time in your life when you had particular goals, you had certain intentions, and then life just lifes, right? Like life just happens. And we have to go through this process of recalibrating and figure out what do we do next. And I'm now at a point where I feel like things with the subpoena have really died down, which is nice. And I'm hoping I can get back to more consistent content creation, not only on Astrology with Janessa, but also on this channel, Health Sense with Janessa. And on that note, I want to share, in case it's helpful, I'm going to pull up just some of my own notes on my little screen here, because I've been reflecting a lot on, okay, how do we navigate these big disruptions in life? Because when it comes to me and this big life disruption with the subpoena and my own health, like my appetite went out the window, in full disclosure. Like I lost some weight pretty quickly just from the stress and not feeling like I could bring myself to eat. And so I was really feeling it physically. I wasn't able to sleep very well. And I was in a phase, I haven't shared this yet, but I'm currently in a phase with my own health where I'm really focused on trying to maintain and stay at a stable weight and start to shift my attention to more muscle building and regaining some lean mass that I've lost in the last couple of years since I left my competitive sports. And so this disruption with the subpoena really just like it just blew all of that to the side. And I couldn't really focus on that. But now that things have started to die down, I'm in that phase of, okay, how do I get back on track? And these would be some tips that I'm taking myself and I want to offer to you in case they're helpful as well if you are navigating a similar phase or chapter of life. And the first is giving enough time to process what has happened and processing what has happened, whether it's a disruption that's due to a breakup or a change of jobs or something, maybe something similar to me where something legal comes up, maybe there's a health condition. I mean, these disruptions can take a lot of forms. There are some people who have a tendency to just try to push through it. But that processing phase is so important. And that can look like having therapy. That can look like working with a coach. That can look like doing journaling. That can look like art and doing something creative or something physical, whether it's gardening or crocheting or building something, doing something to help our bodies and our minds and essentially, in my opinion, our spirits or our souls process what has happened. And depending on what you're trying to get back on track from, right, that can take time and it can take different levels of support. For me, specifically with what I'm working through and just processing what has happened, it's been very helpful to talk to my therapist. It's been helpful to talk with loved ones and receive support. It's been helpful to have other content creators that I could connect with. And as we're moving through the subpoenas, just identify with one another, send some love, some support. And I think a lot of what I did was turn to also music and creativity and trying to channel some of this energy. So that first step is really important. Taking the time, however long it takes, doing whatever you need, specifically based on your needs, to process what has happened. So that's the what, understanding what has happened. And then I think there is now what. Once we have enough foundation or ground under us, we feel like we have enough support, we've done enough processing to now begin to look at how to get back on track, which I'm not going to give you like some pretty list of what to do. The way that I work with myself, the way that I work with other people is through inquiry, through questions, and following up that with action. So the now what, identifying next steps, is a process that can feel really messy and it may not be linear. But I tend to think that doing some sort of quote unquote brain dump of all the things you think you should be doing, but you haven't been able to do because of that life disruption. Like for me, it's been, okay, what are all the things with my own health and wellness around my sleep, my strength training, my nutrition, relationships? What are all those things that I feel like I haven't been able to do because I've been coping and navigating a stressful situation? I just get that all out on a list, whether that's on paper or it's just going through it mentally, acknowledging everything that's there so I don't feel so overwhelmed with it just swimming in my head, and do that brain dump. But then I think a key part of this is really focusing on what is one thing, just one action, one little small habit, one step you can take that would move the needle. 1%, right? We're not, when we've been off track, quote unquote, and we're trying to get back on track, there can be that tendency to just want to do all the things. Like for me, now that the subpoena's been dropped and I'm in this different phase where I'm coming out of processing it emotionally, mentally, even financially, I am thinking, okay, here's like all the things I need to do. But what's the one thing that's going to help me move in the direction of, for example, getting back into the habit with my strength training? Well, that one thing is probably just going to the gym once, because I went from training at the gym 3, maybe 4 times a week to during this life disruption subpoena process, I wasn't going at all. I wasn't doing any strength training. That completely went out the window. So the one action I can take is not all of a sudden ramping back up to 3 to 4 times a week. It's just getting my butt to the gym once. Do that one thing, build up the momentum, and ensure that that one thing is measurable, it's specific enough, it's time bound, like you can set a deadline, set a date. That's all part of the SMART goals, right? Make sure it's specific, measurable, achievable, it's relevant, and it's time bound in some way, because that can be helpful for accountability. And not just accountability, but also knowing when you've achieved the thing, that you've actually achieved the thing. So what's the one thing? What's the one habit? And what would that one thing allow you to do next? That's a helpful question. For me, getting to the gym just to try to get back into the habit, it gives me the confidence to take the next step. It allows me to remember, not just mentally, but physically in my body, remember and feel the benefits of getting to the gym. Because it's those feelings, it's that feeling state after I've accomplished it, I've gone to the gym, I've done the thing, and I have all those endorphins going, and I'm feeling pretty good. That's the reinforcement that helps build up the momentum again. And if that one thing feels too big, or we struggle to accomplish that one thing, that one action, that one step, break it down into something even smaller. So for me, if my goal is to get back into or get back on track with my strength training, and going to the gym is something I'm struggling with, well, how can I break that down into smaller actions? Maybe it's simply, I just need to prepare my gym bag. Like today, I'm gonna at least make sure that I've got everything in my gym bag. Because if I do that, then I'll be ready and able to put that in the car and drive to the gym and actually get the workout done. So sometimes we need to break it into really small steps and give ourselves permission to take the time to build up that confidence again, build up that memory again of why we are doing the things we do, the benefits that we receive from them. And honestly, as I talk through this video in and of itself is me getting back on track also with putting out content on this channel, Health Sense with Janessa, because that was another thing, another life thing that just went out the window completely with this subpoena situation. So I'm really, really grateful to be back here. I know some of you, like I said, have come over from Astrology with Janessa. Welcome. If you're new here, welcome as well. If you've been here a little while, it is so good to connect with you. I am going to be putting out content more regularly on this channel as well. So if you're interested in health and wellness related content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And I will put a little teaser out there that I am planning to do a new series of videos on this channel, Health Sense with Janessa, starting in September. I'm thinking about opening up and sharing in a little bit more of a vlog style, my own process with my health and wellness goals, because I've always thought on this channel that it's interesting to do the Health Coach Reacts content, which I've done some of those videos where I take like a what I eat in a day video and I react to it. I have this kind of video, this kind of content where it's a little bit more really casual, conversational, just sitting down and sharing some thoughts and ideas. But then I also want to open up and share with you more information about my own nutrition and training. And of course, as a health coach, my intention with that is not to tell you what to do. I don't think that we should follow what content creators or influencers are telling us we should do. We need to go through our own process of inquiry and discovery and experimentation to figure out what makes the most sense for us as individuals. And I also acknowledge that it can be interesting to see what other people are doing. So I'd like to share a bit more about my journey. And also, if I'm going to do Health Coach Reacts content where I'm reacting to other people, it just feels right to also open myself up. Right. It's not just about me reacting. It's like, well, you know, if you want to take a peek into my life, here we are as well. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to connecting again soon.